Thank you for your service as an almost juror. Give it up for RV, everybody. Just one up. When they told me I had the 10-minute spot, I said, all right, I'll do it if you let RV open for me. They said, that's not how this works. But RV's been there since day one. Actually, the first time I did this open mic, RV was hosting that night. So I was like, he's been there since day one. He's got to be my opener. And they said, again, you have no leverage. This was a lottery. But I'm a man of principle. I stood by my convictions, and they said, if you keep this up, you're going to get banned for life. I said, banned for life? I don't know if there's any group of musicians talented enough to follow me around for life. I'd get bored after a few months. Wow! Don't worry, it's I have a lot of like abortion and jerking off jokes. I'm getting the corny stuff out of the way first. Hello everyone, my name is Jahan. That's Jahan with an N, not Jihad with a D. Thanks Mom and Dad, that's been a really fun lifetime of that. But it's kind of fun to have a foreign name because a lot of people with foreign names, like their names actually have really beautiful meanings in the original language. So Jahan, for example, it's a Turkish name and it means you've been selected by TSA for additional security check. Yeah, really fun name to have since 9/11. I had a bit of a personal 9/11 recently. I didn't do an act of terrorism. There are a couple people here who look like cops. No, I recently got diagnosed with autism. I'm in my mid-30s. That's not helpful information for me at this point. I talked to the doctor about it. I was like, what can I do? You know, he's like, just keep doing what you're doing. Whatever coping mechanisms have been working for you up to this point. Hey, you're a medical professional. I'm just some guy. For all you know, I've been doing Silence of the Lambs to people if I misunderstand their tone of voice. But yeah, he said after the appointment, he was telling me, it's actually like, we've come a long way with this. We can actually diagnose autism much younger now. So a lot of kids are getting screened earlier and earlier, so we're catching it younger and younger. I'm like, oh, great! I'm 35, thank you so much. But now I know if I ever have kids, I'll make sure to prevent them from getting screened for autism because I'm not a parent yet, but I know if there's anything about parenting I do know, it's you have to pass on your traumas to the next generation. But yeah, I'm almost 35, and that means my life has changed a lot over the last decade or so. Like, for example, over the holidays, I used to go meet up with my friends. We're all off from school, we'd go party. But now, I'm in my mid-30s, life's a little different. So what I like to do now, around the holidays, is I go to the grocery store after Thanksgiving or after Christmas, and I buy a nice plump turkey. I go home and I stuff that turkey with veggies. I season it. I rub seasoning all over it, a little white wine, just a little bit. I rub butter on the turkey and I roast it. I roast that turkey. And then I take all the turkey meat off the bones, and then I get a stock pot. Okay, and then I put the turkey bones in the stock pot with some fresh spring water. The freshest spring water from the freshest springs. And I put a little more white wine in the stock pot and I boil it. I boil it for hours and hours and hours. And the water reduces and the marrows and the succulent juices from the turkey bones rise, and it makes this succulent broth. And you can use that broth to make soup, yummy turkey soup, to keep you warm on those winter nights. I used to do cocaine. I used to do mushrooms, acid, poppers. I still do all of those, just less than I used to. No, mushrooms are a funny one to do when you get older because you're more conscious of stuff and you have more trauma that you have to work through when you're high. But it's something you do when you're in a safe place. But there are people I know who do mushrooms in more intense settings than that. Like I met a comedian who did mushrooms before he performed. I couldn't wrap my head around that. Like, how do you get through? I can't even imagine, going to the post office or just sitting on a couch on mushrooms. This guy would come on stage and tell jokes. Like, how do you go for 3, 4, 5 minutes straight like that? Like, yeah, I was walking my dog the other day, and damn, your face is melting right now. It's swirling. It's beautiful. Your stars in your eyes. Beautiful. But yeah, I can't do it. There's I don't know if y'all remember last year, an Alaska Airlines pilot got arrested because he was doing shrooms while flying a plane. That's next level. I kind of respect that, actually. But they caught this guy because while he was flying his plane, he thought he was dreaming mid-flight, and he tried to turn the engine off mid-flight. Luckily, his co-pilot stopped him, and of course the guy got fired, but then I feel like they went a little too far because they charged him with attempted murder for every passenger on the plane. It's not fair. That's not fair. He thought he was dreaming. And this is America. We don't lock people up for having dreams. We lock them up for being brown-skinned teenagers. Come on! No, free speech is dead in America. But it's worse in other places. You know, we have to have perspective. In South Korea last month, a soldier got arrested because he showed up for duty. They have mandatory military service. And the guy showed up overweight. He was obese. And apparently in Korea, that's a big problem. So they put him in jail and they said, this guy purposefully gained weight to avoid doing military service. And I think that's wrong. First of all, we don't body shame. That's not cool. And second of all, I know South Korea is an ally, but maybe we should invade them for that and try to rescue this guy? Because if being fat's a crime, you know what? Lock me up first, okay? I know I'm not that overweight, but I'm a little overweight. And I don't think that's fair, okay? Lock me up with my caloric comrade from South Korea, if you must. It's called solidarity. That guy should be busted out of jail by Delta Force and brought here to sample the delicacies of the Midwest. That guy should not be rotting in jail. He should be rotting in a Culver's. I want to see that guy's face the first time he has a cheese curd. I think that would be beautiful. But yeah, I had a pretty eventful 2024. I've been reflecting on it, and I'm really proud of some of my accomplishments. Probably the biggest thing I did last year was I got married. Thank you so much. Thank you. It was for insurance purposes, but thank you so much. But no, I got married. I love being married. There's a lot of really big things that are cool about being married, but for me, the special things are like the little things, like the look on each other's faces when you're, doing something nice for each other, coming up with cute nicknames for each other. For example, my wife, she likes those cutie tangerines. That's one of her favorite snacks, so I call her cutie sometimes. And she calls me sleepyhead because I fell asleep once when I was going down on her. Thanks for being here, cutie. My wife's here. Give it up for my wife. Max and Alicia were making fun of the fires in California. You guys think that's funny? You know who doesn't think that's funny? My mom, because her house burned down. Yeah, no, this is not a joke. My mom's house burned down. She lives in LA. Well, she lived in LA. I don't know what she's going to do now because the house burned down. I don't know why people are still chuckling. It's horrible. I hope your mom's house burned down. But yeah, it's surreal, I was just there for the holidays, and now, like that, it's gone. It's crazy. Just to think like that, I was there like a week ago. That's the last time I'm going to sleep in my childhood room. My high school burned down. That's the last time I was ever going to drive by my high school last week. Just like that. Life moves like that. It's the last time I'll go for a hike behind the hills by our house. It's the last time I'm going to throw a still lit joint into the dry brush behind our house. Life's crazy like that. Things happen fast. And I've been, it's still sinking in, and I've been trying to process it all. And I think one of the hardest things to realize is like the stuff you lost that's just irreplaceable. I had a lot of stuff in my mom's house, and I had like a lot of books there. I had hundreds of books at my mom's house. I've been collecting them my whole life. It's true. Gone. And a lot of them are replaceable. That's okay. But all of my signed books were there too, and those are a lot harder to replace. I had like all the Game of Thrones books signed by George Martin. I had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's books signed by him. I don't know how I'm gonna get those again. I was lucky enough to meet Ray Bradbury shortly before he passed away and have a couple books signed by him too. And now I know I'll never see my signed copy of the Martian Chronicles ever again. I also lost my signed copy of Fahrenheit 451, but that feels actually kind of appropriate to lose in a fire. My favorite Ray Bradbury story is The Sound of Thunder. Has anyone read that one? No, not a literate crowd? That's cool. I watch TV too. Sound of Thunder, you might know it offhand. It's where the butterfly effect theory of time travel comes from. So, butterfly flaps its wings, hurricane starts. Basically, if you do something in the past, it has ramifications for the future. So, in The Sound of Thunder, there's a safari, a time travel safari, and they send these people back in time to go look at dinosaurs and all this cool stuff. And so these people go back on this time travel safari, and they see these dinosaurs, and they have to walk along a specific path. They can't leave the path. If you leave the path, you could mess with time. So they're carefully walking, but one of them accidentally steps off the path and steps on a butterfly. And when he comes back to the present, it's World War III. And I always thought that was such a crazy twist on the story. Like, you step on a butterfly and kill a butterfly and it causes World War III? That butterfly must have really hated the Jews. That butterfly must have gotten rejected from Butterfly Art School and gone down its own very dark path. Evan Hull, Chris Fairbanks, Laura Bites are all going to be here in the next few weekends. It's every Wednesday, there's an open mic here. Come support Milwaukee comedy. Give it up for Daniel Fuengraben, your host. Give it up for your bartenders.